Hello, welcome to another episode of Balancedact. Happy New Year! Today's New Year's Day when I'm filming this, January 1st, 2023. So let's go. So to be bringing a new year, I want to talk about something. It's a concept that I've come up with from listening to so many spiritual teachers. The feel-good equation. What's the feel-good equation? How do we feel good? When I first started on my journey back in 2017 after reading Deepak Chopra's book, 7 Spiritual Laws to Success, I started doing yoga as a recommendation from that book. And so I just started word searching yoga on YouTube, and I came across the beautiful, wonderful, immaculate, grand spiritual teacher of mine, Adrian Mishler, aka Yoga with Adrian. And so, she seemed like a really good beginner level for, yoga, and she was, and she is. And I don't no longer do yoga on a daily basis. I was doing it for a year or two there. But when I was doing it, she opened me up to so many different concepts in spirituality, not just the practice of doing yoga and the physical benefits of it. But one of her sayings, I think is really just like her theme, find what feels good. So a lot of times you'll go into meditation with her, and then she'll tell you in the meditation, breathe, release any stress or any area in your body where you're gripping, release that. And then you do all that and you're feeling relaxed and you're feeling very much tuned in. She'll say, find what feels good. I never knew what the hell that meant for the longest time listening to her. Like, can you be more specific? What do you mean by that? But what she was talking about was a vibe. There was a vibe. And so basically, what feels good is always within us, but we pinch ourselves off from it. That's a very metaphysical teaching. But I think it's true. I think wellness and well-being is within us. From a more stoic or practical approach, you might need to say that you need to find the wellness within you. Then it's probably underneath all the gunk that you put on top of yourself and others have put on top of you and experiences are put on top of you. And therefore you kind of clean and clear up the gunk in the middle, you'll find that diamond in the rough. And that just comes through therapy, that just comes through discipline, that just comes through doing all these different things, right? On the spiritual side of things, that light is there, it's always there. It's just a matter of you recognizing it and then tuning into it. So once again, 2 very different approaches to get you to the same place. One's a kind of an outside, moving in, clearing it out. What's all this garbage? Get it out the way. Oh, there I am. That's what I want. That's the happiness. Versus, oh, it's right there. Oh, it's always been there. Oh, I just need to tune into it. So you can do that through meditation. You can do that through a lot of different ways. You can do that through hard work, discipline, reaching, achieving goals, mending relationships, so forth, so forth, so forth. But what's the basic equation for feeling good, for happiness, for feeling good? Well, for me, it's pretty simple. It's determination plus discipline plus appreciation. That actually equals happiness. And really, you can even simple it down from there. You take discipline, you times discipline by appreciation, and you get happiness. So what do I mean by this? So when you take discipline, basically, you got to start doing something on a daily basis that makes you feel good. Some of the things that I've learned have surprised me how simple it can be to make yourself feel good. Like listening to Byron Kelly, she will often talk about just deciding and seeing what is true, being in love with the truth. So you're always questioning, if you feel negative about something, she always questions, is it true? So her worksheet, you go to thework.com and you grab onto a worksheet, and she actually will take you through a practice that I found very beneficial that really helps you get down to anything that you have a grievance about. So let's say you feel bad about something, and she'll tell you, first of all, ask yourself, is it true? And you answer yes or no. And then if you answer yes, it's definitely true, then she'll ask you again, and you absolutely say that it's true. But then after that question, what she'll do is she'll hit you with, I want you to say everything that you feel negative about this situation. So you have a situation like, Joe lied to me, right? Joe could be anybody, your friend or your boyfriend or whatever the hell. So Joe lied to me, right? So then you ask yourself, is it true? Yeah, it's true. You can absolutely say it's true. Yes, it's absolutely true that Joe lied to me. Just okay, cool. I want you to be as petty as you want to be right now. I want you to say everything that Joe did wrong or Joe was being during this situation, and I want you to be as petty as you want to be. Now, I thought that was funny. And that was to really allow the ego to have a voice. So it feels really good. It's funny. So he's like, Joe's an asshole, Joe's this, Joe's a piece of shit, Joe did this, Joe did that, I can't stand Joe, I don't know why I'm friends with Joe, and you let it all out. It feels good, right? And then you turn it around. And this you gotta experience it to try it. Try it for yourself, experience it. The next step is to turn it around, right? There's a few more questions he asks you, but then you come back to this question, you turn around and say, now turn it around and say this about you. So how are you acting in this situation? So you take Joe's name out and you put your name in place. And then that's when the real fun happens. And you're like, oh shit, I was being an asshole in this situation myself. I was being a piece of shit myself in that same situation. I can see it. And then you'll ask, is it as true or more true? And you'd be like, oh, I think it was about as true. I was being just as much of an asshole in that situation as Joe was. And you see the truth for yourself. And the funniest part is you laugh at it. That's the funniest part. Going to my extreme example of Abraham Hicks, she often says, take the road of least effort. Now that sounds complete flying the opposite of what our culture teaches us. The road of least effort, no, that's being lazy, that's being this, that's being that, that's being that, that's being this. Any practical practitioner will tell you that's bullshit. Fuck that. Don't listen to that. That'll get you in trouble. Have you sitting your ass waiting for miracles. But after listening to Abraham Hicks for a while, I realized, oh, that's not what she's saying. Like, it's so easy to think that's what she's saying. Like turn the other cheek. It's like we think like God is saying or Jesus is saying, oh, you stuck me here, that stuck me here, yay. You know, like, no, he's not actually saying that. Really what God is saying there, or Jesus is saying there is, you know, he also says before that, if your enemy wants you to walk 1 mile with him, walk 2 miles with him. You know, so there's a different attitude to that. So it's like, if he wants to slap you across your cheek, hand him the other cheek to slap. Basically saying, it don't matter what you want to do to me because God's got me. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to learn through my example how to be. So if you want to take advantage of me, okay, I'm going to be all right. Or you want me to walk 1 mile with you? I'll walk 2 miles with you. You want the shirt off my back? I'll give you 2 shirts off my back. You want to slap this cheek? Here's the other cheek. How you feel now? You right? You good? That's the attitude of that, right? And so the attitude of what Abraham Hicks is saying, which is also misunderstood, is that she also says this, made it clear to me, because I was thinking the same thing. This is bullshit. What the fuck? She wants me to sit on my ass and just wait for like money to fall out the sky? No, it's not what she's asking. What she's asking you to do is this, because she says this as well. She said, the road of least effort is also the road of most allowance. So it's an attitude. Just the same thing as what Jesus said about the other cheek. It's an attitude. It's a misinterpretation of what she's saying as far as attitude is concerned. So, road of most allowance. So this is the road, it feels good. It feels so good. It feels like it should be right. But this is the road that allows the most to come in. Because you can do things the other way. And I do too sometimes. Sometimes I feel it's necessary. That's why I call this balancedact. But sometimes you do got to take the hard, dredged road of discipline. And that's not an easy road to travel. Even in the road of doing what Abraham Hicks says, you know, getting up every morning, meditating for 20 minutes. That ain't easy. Try it. That ain't easy. Especially if you're not used to doing it. But you get used to doing it. And you feel good doing it. So what she's asking you to do is to do things out of inspiration. Go ahead and do things out of inspiration. And one of the practices she teaches is appreciation or gratitude. So that's what I'm saying. Gratitude or appreciation is the multiplier factor of feeling good, because discipline is going to lead you to feel good. But if you multiply your discipline by appreciation, that's a times factor, because you're multiplying the effectiveness of your discipline. Okay? So appreciation is about feeling good for what is. Right? I like the word appreciation more so than gratitude, because gratitude seems to come from a place of I'm low and I'm reaching up for hope to feel high. But appreciation comes from a place of I'm right here, I'm feeling good, and I'm feeling content with everything that there is, and I'm looking out towards everything, and I'm just taking it in, and it feels even better. So appreciation for me comes from you're standing on a higher platform than where you're standing from gratitude. Because gratitude to me always feels like, oh no, I should be grateful for what I have. Versus, oh, I'm here, and I just want to look at it all. That's appreciation to me. So the practice of appreciation is pretty simple. You just sit down, you clear your mind, you just look around yourself. And you might start with something simple like, I appreciate the grass. I appreciate that it's green in front of me. I appreciate the trees. I appreciate the sun shining on me right now. I appreciate the warmth of the sunlight hitting my skin. I appreciate being outside. I appreciate living in the United States of America. I appreciate having a job I can go to. I can afford my own place. It can start off simple like that. It can go up to be grand and talk about your spirit guides and your health and the money you make and all this stuff, the business deal that went down the other day, all that, right? So if you do that before you begin your day, that's powerful, because now you are in what is called the receiving mode. Now the receiving mode is also a state of mind. Scientifically, we explain, I think, as waves in the brain. I believe we are normally on a beta wave when we're awake. This puts you on an alpha or even a theta wave. The road of appreciation. Basically, it releases serotonin in your body. It makes you feel good, essentially. So essentially, you're getting yourself high just by thinking about it. It's a thought process or a thought discipline that literally gets you high. So that's the scientific or practical side of it. So if you do this, and then you do whatever it is that you do every day as far as discipline, now you're coming from a place of feeling good. You're coming from a place of appreciation. So now you might find yourself getting inspired to do something versus just sitting down and making yourself do it. Now, some days you have to do that, of course, but it shouldn't be every day. If you feel like that every day, there's something wrong. I'm just gonna say that for real, straight up, something wrong. Now there's matters of having to push through things. Maybe it takes you a few days or a week or so to get used to a new routine, but it's just start to feel good, start to feel normal. If it doesn't, something's wrong. And so that's when I recommend that you go to thework.com by Baron Kelly and try to figure it out. What beliefs do you have that you're holding on to that you can let go? So have your discipline. Decide on what it is that you want to do with your life, okay? Whether it's me, I want to be a writer, so I'm writing every day. I'm also a graphic designer, so I also want my graphic design business to grow larger. So I'm working on my graphic design business every day. That's my discipline. And I multiply that with appreciation. So every morning I make sure I wake up and I appreciate everything around me. I meditate. I get in contact with my inner being, my soul, my spirit, myself, my inner self, the inner voice, my instincts, whatever you want to call it. That small voice right here, that silent witness. I get in contact with him, her, right? My connection to God, my connection to my higher self. And then, after that, I approach everything. And I approach everything with a positive, wonderful attitude. I find what feels good. And then I go. Versus going and hoping what I'm doing will eventually make me feel good. I feel good now. I feel good in the moment. And I enjoy the journey. So that's the feel-good equation. You can put it together your own way, but for me, I keep it super simple. Discipline times appreciation equals feel good in the moment. Discipline times appreciation Feel good in the moment. Happy New Year to y'all. I love all of you. May you find that balanced road between the practical and the metaphysical teaching to your wellness.